for eco-education through the blooming of an eco-reserve for the future generation. ERA set up in 24 acres of land at Matatugadu next to Silent Valley National Park. It basically emphasized on the evaluation of socio-economic progress made in Attapadi and thereby scrutiny the refinement made in the livelihood of the local group, specifically the tribal communities. Afforestation, biomass development, conservation of water resources, and promotion of sustainable income generating activities are attempted through community based organization. Adi Tarumitra is the grid for students who are engaged in the movement to protect and promote the healthy environment on Earth. Tarumitra aims to spread ecologically reactivity by instructing its members in handling local environmental issues. This helps in stimulating spirituality by organizing for the preservation of biodiversity. Vision of Adi, a protector to bloom and flourish, and the mission of Adi is committed to be with the Adivasis for their integral development and to preserve Mother Earth through our living conditions.
Then I think it's not audible for me. Hello? Hello?
Is this Sunil?
Yeah.
Jolly here.
Yeah.
Sunil audible aanu.
Okay, fine. Right now it's audible for me also.
Okay.
Thank you.
Further, it is already time. Let us start.
Yeah, please start.
Good evening, one another present here. Our life is full of colors. I hope this 15th August will add more colors to your life. We will begin our national webinar with these golden and hopeful words of Mahatma Gandhi. At the outset of this webinar, let us invoke God's presence among us. Now, I invite Arsha CS, MSW student from Kristu Jayanti College, Bangalore, to guide us through prayer. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand, we'll walk hand in hand, we'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we'll walk hand in hand someday. We are not afraid, we are not afraid, we are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we are not afraid today. We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
Thank you, Asha, for leading us through the prayer. It is our custom, and Adi makes it mandatory to include the preamble of our Indian Constitution in all our webinars. Now, I invite Andalakshmi S. Thotam from SP College, Changanasheri, to read out the preamble of the Indian Constitution.
The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Thank you, Andalakshmi, for reading out the preamble of our Indian Constitution. This webinar is the fruit of the creative mind of Father Lenin Anthony S.J., the director of ADI, who continuously inspire everyone. Now, I take this opportunity to invite Father Lenin Anthony S.J. to deliver the welcome address.
Good evening, friends. Respected President Dr. Aip Varghese sir, Advocate Samshuddin sir, and the resource persons, Dr. Sunil Kumar, Dr. Jolie, Dr. Jonas, and faculty and students of different colleges, social workers, friends. Freedom is never dear at any price. It is the breath of life. What would a man not pay for living? Are the words of Mahatma Gandhi. It highlights how important it is to be free, to enjoy individual rights. In the context of our 75th Independence Day, I am pushed to ask myself a very personal and existential question. Am I really free today? Or are we indeed experiencing the freedom which our forefathers brought us through laying down their lives? This is the question which brought us all together today to make our nation a better place. Therefore, I consider this golden opportunity as my privilege to welcome all. Today, this program begins at 6 o'clock and will finish at 8 o'clock. And we are privileged to have Dr. Aip Varghese, the Secretary of CAPS, Kerala Association of Professional Social Worker, and he is the head of the Department Social Work at BCM College, Kottayam. He will be delivering the presidential address. Welcome, sir. And our this program will be inaugurated by Advocate Samshuddin sir. He is a MLA of our constituency, and he has been friendly with us. He has attended many programs here in Atadi, and today he is coming. I think now he's traveling in a car. Yes, he said just he tries to join us. Welcome, sir. And we have eminent three speakers with us. Dr. Sunil Kumar MN, an international trainer and faculty member from the Department of Social Work, Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit Kaladi, Regional Campus, Payanur. Welcome, sir. Dr. Jolie K. James, the Assistant Professor from Department of Social Work, St. Beckman's College, Changanasheri. Welcome, ma'am. Dr. Jonas Richard, Head of the Department of Social Work, Christ Jayanti College, Bengaluru. Welcome to all these three eminent speakers. And of course, I'm sure many faculty members from different colleges, especially St. Beckman's College, Christ Jayanti College, Bengaluru, Sri Shankaracharya University, and from St. Joseph, Bengaluru, and other School of Social Work, and professors, scholars, students, social workers, and well-wishers of ADI, and members of CAPS, and my dear friends. I am very happy to welcome you all. Dear friends, on Zoom meeting and YouTube, your presence give us the hope that there will certainly be a future of freedom and human dignity. At this occasion, I wholeheartedly welcome you all. Let me conclude my words with a poem by Rabindranath Tagore, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where their words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dirty desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by these into ever widening thought and action into that heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Lenin Anthony S.J., for your energetic, enthusiastic, and spirit-filled words. Now, I invite Dr. Aip Verghese, General Secretary, CAPS, Kerala Association of Professional Social Workers, and the Head of the Department of Social Work, BCM College, Kottayam, to deliver the presidential address. Dear friends, let us keep open our heart and intellect to his words of wisdom. Once again, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, and good evening, all of you. Respected Father Lenin Anthony, Advocate Shamsuddin, Dr. Sunil Kumar, Yemen, Dr. Jolly, and Dr. Jonas, all are my dear friends, and all the organizers of this program. First of all, even though one day has passed, I wish everybody let's remain in the happy mood of independence. A special appreciation is required for ADI because I have participated in many programs of ADI, and all the programs start with the preamble of Constitution. So how much importance is given by ADI to our Constitution is well established here, and it is reflected in this particular action. Now we will be hearing to three eminent persons, so I don't want to go into any details of that. We have seen a brochure showing that justice, liberty, equality, and a thinking, a thought of one nation, a fraternity, a solidarity. Actually, even though now we have passed 75 years, those who have participated in the freedom fight, if at all they are there, they are very old now, and others are not aware of what has happened or the struggle behind the freedom fight. We have developed a lot. India has developed a lot. There is no doubt in that, in many aspects, because when we got freedom and the present situation, we cannot even compare, or we cannot even, there is no match. But is our freedom complete? That's what we should think now. Or what is left out? What else we require to achieve? Someone said, freedom is a fight. Freedom is a fight. That's what, and freedom is something that we should fight for. that may be applicable for a country which is, trying for getting freedom initially from somebody else, maybe like what we have done to get freedom from Britishers. That is the fight. But is there any single person in our country who is still to fight for freedom? Then our freedom is not complete. That's what I wanted to say. If the freedom is not reaching to the last person in our country, then our freedom is not complete. Then our freedom is not meaningful. And if we look around, we can surely say we need to get, still we are yet to get freedom from many things, freedom from inequality. See, the Western world or the developed world still consider India as, they will, if at all we say that we are developing or we are developed, they may not agree to that until unless we show them some of the statistics. But otherwise, they will still say, you are the country where people are divided on the basis of different things, maybe due to caste or something else. So that type of inequality, if it is still existing, we need to get a freedom from that. And our country should develop to that extent. We need to get freedom from social evils or social problems. We are not still free from that. We should get freedom from child abuse or abusing anybody else. We are still in the clutches of that. And of course, what I said, when the freedom is not enjoyable by everybody, irrespective of age or irrespective of region or religion or anything else, or economics or finance or anything else, then our freedom needs to be developed a lot. And to that, as just now Lenin Achin said, let my country awake. That's what only I want to say on this fine day. And of course, let us hear in depth from Advocate Shamsuddin and my close friends, Sunil Kumar Yemen, Jolly Miss, and Joanna sir. 3 colleges are there, and the students of the college and faculty all are there. I once again, I wish a great day, and let us, it is not a day to celebrate. Well, let's celebrate every day, and let's work hard as social workers. Let's work hard so that the message of freedom reaches to every corner of our country. And thank you for this opportunity, Father Lenin Antony, and wish you all the best. Let's have a great time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your igniting words. It's our honor to welcome Advocate N. Shamsuddin, the MLA of Manargad constituency, to inaugurate this webinar. Dear sir, indeed, we are privileged to have your valuable presence among us. I request you to inaugurate the webinar. Welcome, sir.
MLA sir, I think he's traveling, but he's there. You can remove the screen. Sir, unmute Yamo. Samshi sir. Sir, kindly unmute, sir. Samsin sir, unmute ചെയ്ത് സംസാരിക്കാമോ? സംശയ് സർ കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല. അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാമോ?
സാർ, സ്ക്രീനിന്റെ താഴത്തെ ഒരു എന്താണ് മൈക്കിന്റെ പോലത്തെ ഒരു ചിഹ്നം ഉണ്ട്. ആ ചിഹ്നത്തിലൊന്ന് തൊട്ടാൽ മതി.
ബിബിൻ ചെയ്യാലോ? അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാമല്ലേ?
നോക്കട്ടെ ഫാദർ, നോക്കട്ടെ.
Sir, we don't hear you. Vipin, unmute ചെയ്യാമോ?
നോക്കട്ടെ ഫാദർ, നോക്കട്ടെ.
Unmute all. സംശയ സർ, ആ ചുമന്ന താഴെ ബട്ടൺ ഒന്ന് ടച്ച് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. അൺമ്യൂട്ട്.
അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സാറ് യാത്ര കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ
അല്ല, സാർ റെഡിയാണ്, സാർ റെഡിയാണ്, നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടി വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. അതൊന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. വിപിൻ.
ഇല്ല, ഇവിടുന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല അച്ഛാ, അവിടുന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യണം. നമുക്ക് മെസ്സേജ്
നമുക്ക് മെസ്സേജ് കൊടുക്കാനേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ.
മൊത്തത്തിൽ അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല.
ഇല്ല ഇല്ല ഇല്ല.
സാറേ, താഴെയുള്ള സ്പീക്കർ ഒന്ന് ഓൺ ചെയ്യാമോ?
മൈക്കിന്റെ സിമ്പിൾ ഉള്ള ഒരു ബട്ടൺ ഉണ്ടാവും.
അച്ഛാ ഒന്ന് ഫോൺ വിളിച്ചാല്.
I will call. Sorry for that. He is trying to join. He will join now. No, he will. Friends, let us continue. When he joins, let him speak. Okay? Christina, we can continue.
Okay, Father.
Yeah.
Next, we are entering into the most important part of our webinar, for which we have with us three eminent and scholarly personalities. First, from the row, we have Dr. Sunil Kumar Yaman, an international trainer and a faculty from the Department of Social Work, Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Kaladi Regional Campus, Payanur. Dear sir, we are thrilled to listen to you, and we hope that your presentation would enrich us with knowledge. Hence, I happily welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Saflin, for your nice words. Good evening, one and all. Respected President Dr. Rai of this program, the CAPS General Secretary of Kerala, my friend, and other faculty team resource persons, Dr. Jonas Richard, Dr. Jolly K. James, the most respected Reverend Father P.S. Lenin, Anthony, the director of ADI, the inaugurator, our member of Legislative Assembly, Advocate N. Shamsuddin, members of CAPS, faculty members from other departments, and the students from the different colleges, the organizers. Good evening to one and all. So yesterday, we celebrated our 75th Independence Day. Our theme is freedom and human rights, constitutional perceptions and reality. And this is the first time I heard an organization who read out the preamble of the Constitution in the program. So that's a great thing. And truly, it's everyone should follow that kind of system in organizing a program. And apart from that, today is a most valuable day because related with the freedom and human rights. Perhaps I am adding one more point, one more component in that, that is independence, freedom and human rights, reality and reflections. Right now, I am not independent because I am dependent one of my student, and Adulya, please share your screen. Adulya, are there? Adulya.
Yeah. Aju?
Please share the screen. Okay, my dear friends, participants, let me ask one question, simple question. Have you ever enjoyed independence? Have you ever enjoyed independence? You please share the points in your chat box. If ever you enjoyed your independence, either yes or no, please put in the chat box. Only one that says yes. Not always, from Lenin Antony, Father Lenin Antony says not always. So I am repeating the same question. Have you ever enjoyed independence in your life? Okay, again I am raising one more question to you all. Have you ever enjoyed freedom? So these two words are, or these two concepts are related. And sometimes we are utilizing these terminology or these concepts in different occasions too. Freedom and independence. And human right, the constitutional perception and reality. Adulya, next slide, please, Adulya. So we are just moving on to the explanations of independence. So you can see what it is. Simply, Adulya, please. Because of some kind of connection problem or range issues, that's why it's done by Adulya. So here in the screen, you can see that is independence is the ability to be free. Independence is the ability to be free, and some independence is given to you. And like your rights in the law by government, if you are living in a good country, and some independence you must take it, make it in your own, and like getting a job and making money. And some independence is taken away from you. So independence, sometimes it's given for someone to use, sometimes independence is taken away from you, and independence is the ability to be free. So it depends on, right now you are independent or you are enjoying independence. So we are giving an opportunity to be a part of this program. So you are enjoying that independence. And the situations that determines whether it is you are enjoying that independence or not. And here there is an example that is the sex slaves of IS or the slaves. Sometimes our independence is taken away from someone else. And we are moving on to the next question: what is freedom? So many of you states that you never enjoyed freedom in its flourishing or in its apt word. So freedom is literally or explained as, it's not a right. Even if governments were built to give freedom, but still in the real world, you are not rightful to be free. But what life gives you is a chance to be independent and then use your abilities to be free. Freedom is not a right, and life gives you a chance to be independent. And independence is your capacity to be free and then use your abilities to be free. So while using your abilities to be free, and if you are capable to be free, that means you are independent or you are enjoying independence. So in such a situation, we can say that our independence and freedom is closely related. And based on the theme, we are moving to the next concept, that is human rights. So as professional social workers or budding social workers, or as a social being or a citizen of our nation, we are very much familiar about the concept right, especially human rights. And these rights are standards that recognize and protect the dignity of all human beings. Protect the dignity of all human beings, and as well as their relationship with state and the obligations that state have towards them. In the next line, it states that human rights law obliges governments to do something and prevents them from doing others. Individuals also have responsibilities in using their human rights. They must respect the rights of others. No government, group, or individual person has the right to do anything that violates another's rights. Independence, freedom, and human rights. And human rights states that no government or group or individual person has the right to do anything that violates another's rights. You have the right to be free, you have the capacity to be free, and you have the capacity or freedom to enjoy your right. But once you are enjoying all these, you never violate the freedom or right or dignity of the fellow being. So if we are enjoying all these, if we are enjoying our independence, if we are enjoying our freedom, and if we are enjoying or executing our right, it may not hinder or it will not become the obstacle for the existence of your fellow beings. So let me show a few photos to you all. Adulya, please show the pictures one by one, please. One by one, please. So please watch the pictures. It's very interesting, right? And innocent kids, they are enjoying. They have the right to. They have the right. They are enjoying the independence. They are enjoying the freedom. Next, please. So as the citizen. No, previous one, please. Adulya, previous one, please. Okay. In these three pictures, you can see the happiness, the independence, the freedom, and the right. In the third picture, an overcrowded train. The people are traveling in front on the board, and it is their right. Maybe they are enjoying their freedom or they are enjoying their independence. So in these pictures, everyone have their right. Everyone is enjoying their freedom and independence. But the a right-based approach or based on our right, our freedom and our independence that never violate others' right or others' dignity or others' freedom and independence. While moving on the next slide, we can see various leaders. Atulya, please, Atulya. So you all know, or it's a picture that is viral to the entire world. You are very much familiar about this picture. George Floyd, a common man, and black man, the so-called black man, who is under the clutches of a police officer and screaming for breath. But he lost his life. The police officers, Chowmin and Tahoe, immediately terminated from the service. And a few weeks before they got sentenced, life sentence, the verdict from the court. Here the police officers, they are enjoying their right, their independence, and their freedom. But they curtail the freedom and independence and the right of another person. So as the citizen of our nation, while we are enjoying our freedom and independence and our right, we should be very much bothered about the rights of others, the freedom of others, and the independence of others. And again, putting forward to you, are we truly enjoying independence? And let me to show a few more pictures. So can you identify who is this leader? Please put it in the chat box. So once you could identify this leader, can give you a clue that is a leader or a king who develops his own court of law. Maybe you are familiar with the name, that is Hammurabi. Hammurabi is god of law. And the next picture. And the next one. So you know these two personalities, the eminent leaders of this world, with their own uniqueness, with their own caliber, with their own potential, with their own capacity. They lead the world. Next slide, next picture, please. Next one. The firing eyes of Osho Rajneesh, to control his devotees with his words, with his deeds. And the man behind, or the man in the screen, the another person, you all know who he is. Escaped from India. And the next picture, please. Maybe you can recognize who is she. Fulan Devi. So all these people, all these leaders, they enjoyed their freedom. They enjoyed their right. And they enjoyed their independence. But my question is, do they consider the right of others? With their actions, with their executions, with their performance, that adversely affects crores and crores of the people in the world. So we have the right, we have the freedom, we have the independence, but that may not hinder others, others' rights, others' performance, others' lives also. And few more pictures, please. Adulya, make it faster, Adulya, please. So can you recognize the great emperor of India? It's nothing but the Emperor Ashoka. He changed his mind. And worked for the well-being and welfare of the community at the end part. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen Thomas Sunny. You identified. And definitely you know who is this, the second picture. It's nothing but, it's our own great Ambedkar. The next one. Next one. Next picture, please, Adulya. Adulya, are you there? Please. See, Ambedkar is here, Swami Vivekananda, then Mother Teresa, Medha Patkar, and one more. That is Malala Yousafzai. Adulya, do you really facing any problem? Please show the end picture, please. So let me say all these leaders.
Sir, Adulya is facing some network issue.
Network issue?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so someone help her. Here also I am facing the same problem, that's why I'm becoming dependent. And let me see all these leaders, that is the Ashoka, Ambedkar, Mother Teresa, Vivekananda, Medha Patkar, Malala, they are from the different fields, but they utilized their vested powers. They applied their powers, their right, their freedom, and their independence. They channelized it into for the well-being and the welfare, for the development. So the two forms of leaders which we have seen, they are enjoyed their freedom, their independence, their right, but on the one aspect that is adversely affect the existence and the development or the peaceful life of the citizens, but in the other version, these leaders, they work for the well-being and welfare. They are always focused on the well-being and welfare. They considered the rights, they enjoyed the independence, they enjoyed the freedom, and they enjoyed the right, and everything is for the welfare. So the leaders, those leaders or the dictators of the world, whether it is Hammurabi or Ashoka or Hitler or Napoleon, they followed certain rules and regulations centuries back. Or by Martin Comte, the development of the human, the sociological development of the human, whether it is in the first stage or in the second stage or in the third stage, that development and the settlement of human, when the right of the individual, and that becomes the powerful, becomes the leaders. From there onwards, the powerful is always controlled and they mastered the general public. And the ways they followed, that becomes the doctrines and that becomes the rules and regulations. Gradually, it is known as the Constitution. And India, as a country, we have our own constitution, or the largest constitution of this world, a written document. And in that constitution, the preamble of our constitution, that's already read out in the inaugural session in this program. We, the people of India. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay, something. One second. Okay, fine. Adulya, the slide, please, Adulya. Adulya. Sorry for the inconvenience. Can you hear me right now? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine.
Very clear.
Okay. So the Constitution of India and the preamble, it's already read out in the inaugural session itself, and we are focusing on the preamble itself also. So here, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens, that is justice, liberty, equality, and to promote among them all the fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. And we enact, adopt, and give to ourselves this constitution on the day of November 26, 1949. I'm just focusing on whether this preamble is really give us its meaning, its right, its freedom and independence in the current scenario. So as a sovereign state, A sovereign, that simply means an independent authority of a state. And it means it has the power to legislate on any subject, and that it is not subject to the control of any other state or external power. And a state is sovereign when there resides within itself supreme and absolute power, acknowledging no superior. A state is sovereign when there resides within itself supreme and absolute Hello.
Yes, sir.
Myself, is it audible for you?
Audible, audible.
Yes,
Very
sir.
Okay. In between, there is a message that is the host is muted me. That's why. Okay, fine. Adulya, are you really facing the problem? Can you share the screen?
Yes, sir. The slide will be shared soon, sir.
Okay, fine, fine.
One
Shall I
minute, sir.
proceed?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. See, a state is sovereign when there resides within itself supreme and absolute power and acknowledging no superior. India is a country which spends more than 50% of its national income for arms and ammunition. Our defense is always vigilant in our borders, in our nation, in our state. So whether it is Army or Navy or Air Force or Border Security Force or our intelligence department, every force is that much vigilant. And the government tried to ensure the sovereignty through these forces. But what's happening in the borders of India? The India-China border, the India-Nepal border, the India-Pakistan border, we are facing problems. Every day we are facing attacks, violation of law, violation of treaties, violation of rights, violation of freedom, violation of independence. And on May 5, 2020, the Indian Army witnessed an intrusion of the Chinese army in Indian borders. And from the part of the external ministers or ministry affairs or Ministry of External Affairs, from the diplomacy, the leaders from the diplomatic leaders, we're getting a message that is India is still a democratic and a secular socialist country, and we are following our sovereignty and we are focusing on the sovereignty. But the news, the reports from the different articles and medias, it says that India lost a huge area of its territory because of this intrusion from the Chinese army. We have lost lives. We have lost our land. So a state which has the capacity to take decisions, take amendments, to issue laws, and it never concerned the supremacy or power of any external authority. But still, we are in doubtful whether our country is following or have the characteristics of a sovereign state. So I'm raising the reality or the reflection towards the concept, towards the preamble, that is the sovereign character of Indian society or the state, whether it is still valuable or in challenge. It's our responsibility to give an answer or to analyze, is it right or wrong? While moving on to the socialist version of our preamble, Next slide, please. Adulya. Socialist. It means that wealth should be shared equally by society through distributive justice, not concentrated in the hands of few, and that the government should regulate the ownership of land and the industry to reduce socio-economic inequalities. It aims to end poverty, ignorance, and inequality. A great perception, a great thought. The dawn of independence and the initial days of our freedom, the government of India is focused on to create an egalitarian society. But while we are celebrating the 75th Independence Day, still we are facing inequality, or the socialist characteristics of India is now in a big question. So in that picture, you can see multi-storied building, and on the other side, adjusted to that, there are hamlets without basic amenities. The shadow of development, the slums. It is in true sense, we can say that if there is slums in our society, if there is multi-storied buildings in our society, if there is force in our society, then that means we cannot say India is a socialistic one. We cannot say India is a socialistic one because our wealth is concentrated on a very few of our society. We could observe millions and millions is starving. They are fighting for one-time meal. There is no shelter, there is no food, there is no education, there is no means of livelihood of the majorities, but very few is enjoying all these rights, the freedom, independence, luxury. Our perception is great, but the reality is different. You just analyze, is India a socialistic one? I move on to the next point of Indian preamble, that is secular. It means that the relationship between the government and religious groups. And secularism is a part of the basic structure of the Indian constitution, and it means equal freedom and respect for all religions. Equal freedom and respect for all religions. It's a great notion. And Shashi Tharoor well quoted that in Western dictionary, secular means absence of religion. But in India, secularism means not irreligious situation, but it's the profusion of religion. It's the blend of religion. So in the picture, the secularism of India, it's, Adulya, please. Whether it is Hindu or Jain or Buddha or Sikh, Islam or Christianity, or other religions that is existing in our society, the government is giving an opportunity, or by constitution, we are saying that we have a tolerance and equal freedom and respect for all religions. Let me ask, is it true? So the statistics and reports that states in India, we can observe the mushrooming of communal organizations or religious and caste organizations. And the problem of Babri Masjid, or the concept of Ramakshetra, or other religious or communal issues, or communal rights, or religious issues. As the most developing countries, one of the most developing countries in the world, making history in the field of space, in the field of innovation, but still in certain parts of our country, we can't say, or still there is untouchability is existing, pollution is existing. Do you believe that? And what about the religious tolerance? The society is not tolerating on the basis of religion, or nepotism, or casteism, or religionism is developing. And that becomes poisons. And that definitely adverse against our freedom, independence, and right. And again, raising the same question, is India truly secular? And the problem of minorities and majorities, the gulf between the problem of minority and majority is increasing day after day. So the freedom is curtailed. The right is denying. The independence, it's vanished. So moving on to the next concept. Democratic. So we are electing our representatives. By following the value of democracy, we are electing our representatives. And by constitution, it gives the right of the citizens of India, those who have completed at the age of 18 have the voting right. And through that franchise, we are selecting our representatives. But the question is India truly democratic? And in democracy, the power is vested in the hands of public. What is happening in India is the true power is in the hands of public. Is our representatives, elected representatives, is the true representatives of the public? Is it means by the people, of the people, and for the people? Adulya, please click the picture. The question is India following democratic values right now? Every day in news or in different medias, we can see increasing the prices of fuel, the problems of agriculture. And a very interesting thing, one question raised by a delegate in an international seminar related with the governance. He is from UAE. And the delegate raised a question to the Indian people. If you are truly following democracy, or if your state is a democratic one, can you see your president? Can you meet your president? Can you meet your prime minister? Can you meet your chief minister? Or can you meet any one of your ministers freely or without any prior requirement, or even with an appointment? So the question is, if the power is in the hands of public, if the power is gained, or if the power is vested in the grassroots, do we really enjoy the freedom? Do we really enjoy the independence? Do we enjoy the rights? So the question is again in the limelight, is India a democratic one? And the next point, that is republic. The preamble states India is a republic. A republican form of government, the head of the state is elected. And it is not a hierarchical one, or it is not in the part of a hereditary one. And we are celebrating the Republic Day in every year in January 26th. It's a republic. India is a republic one. But our nation, even though our country is not. Sorry, Father.
Sir, could you mind briefing it? I mean,
Yeah. I make
5
it
minutes.
fast. Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. So here also I am stating and putting the question, even though we are not following a hereditary system in our administration, we are following an elective system, but in our political system, we could observe a hereditary generation or the power that is sharing or transforming from generation to generation. Adulya, next slide, please, Adulya. So justice. So we are demanding for justice, social justice, economic justice, and political justice. But the society is demanding for justice by all means. The preamble that focuses on the justice of the citizens of the nation. But wherever we are observing, wherever we are focusing, where we can see injustice. And the next slide, please. So liberty refers to the freedom of the activities of Indian nations. Can we truly enjoy the liberty of our nation, or the liberty, the concept of liberty? The freedom of expression, the freedom of thought. See, Malala Yousafzai, she raised a voice for education for the youth in her country. Aisha Sultana, in the case of Lakshadweep issues, she raised her voice. The people who raise their voice, either controlled by judiciary or the law or politics or someone else. So liberty is not aptly executed or not aptly enjoyed by the citizens. Adulya, please, Adulya. The people of India, especially the agriculturists, they are in protest. The people of India, they are in protest. Their demand for their right. And the last one, that is equality. Creating an egalitarian society, considering my fellow beings as equal to me, that is a great concept. That is a great thought. But here we can see inequalities in the form of gender, in the form of sex, in the form of caste, in the form of religion. So the preamble that states India is a sovereign, socialist, secular. So we are focusing on all these, but actually what it is. And here comes the need of fundamental rights. Here comes the needs of human rights. So my dear friends, I'm just giving few situations of your realities regarding the preamble related with our independence, our freedom, and our right. So we just think about, do we really want to change? Do we really want to tune up for a future India with all these characteristics? Thank you, Adi, for giving me a wonderful opportunity to being a part of this seminar. And thank you all for your patient listening. And fraternity is one thing. And as my brothers and sisters right now. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Adulya, please wind up.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil Kumar Yemen, for throwing light on the different aspects of the real freedom and the human rights in today's context. You have clearly and elaborately explained the real meaning of the preamble of our Indian Constitution. We believe that a clear constitutional perception is the need of the hour. Once again, I thank you, sir, for your creative intervention. Next, I invite Dr. Jolie K. James from the Department of Social Work, St. Berchmans College, Changanasheri. Ma'am, your knowledge and life experience in the field of teaching and social involvement would enkindle in us the fire to become a light for others. Welcome, dear ma'am.
Thank you. Respected Dr. Aitwar of the meeting, Dr. Sunil Kumar Yemen, Dr. Jonas, Advocate N. Shamsuddin, and Father Lenin Anthony, and all the participants in the webinar. A warm good evening, and I would like to present the topic. Stephen, can you start the screen sharing? Okay, so title slide, please. Okay, previous slide. Okay, so we know the Constitution, how our Constitution is contributing or how it supports human freedom of human being or freedom of Indian citizens, and we will look into the perspectives and realities. As we know, in the preamble, it starts with starting with a golden phrase, or in the golden letters, we can see that words, "We, the people of India." A striking word, where the phrase used as the opening of the preamble of the Indian Constitution, giving due importance to humans as citizens. When a non-Indian read this preamble, they feel jealous of Indian people because the beautiful life, status, freedom is assuring for Indian citizens by the Constitution itself, cannot find in any other constitution. Next slide. Or do I share the screen? Okay, that's okay. Human rights. Human rights are those minimum rights which every individual must have against the state or other public authority by virtue of being a member of a human family, irrespective of any consideration based on caste, creed, gender, color, etc. And human rights include the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, and many more. Now we will look into how Indian Constitution ensures human rights. We can see fundamental rights, then fundamental duties, and directive principles of state policy. All these things will protect the, will give us the right. Yes.
Are you using double device?
Yes. Yes, sir. I will.
One you can mute or you can reduce the voice. Yes. You can volume if you reduce, then it will go.
No, your volume is reduced. I will leave the.
Or yes, now it's okay. Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Hope I am audible.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Now it's still that sound is coming. Yeah.
I will keep it away.
Yeah. Very good. Carry on, ma'am.
Okay, the Constitution of India is. I will switch it up.
That's better. You can leave that one.
So, with fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principles of state policy ensures human right for the Indian citizens. And the Constitution of India is regarded as the most elaborate fundamental laws ever adopted by a country. And it refers various human rights under the Constitution. Next slide, please. So now let's analyze what is our condition or what is our state of being as a citizen in the country. We know yesterday we celebrated 75th year of independence, and in 2021 we have already covered 72 years of enactment of our constitution. At this juncture, let's look into the condition where our country and citizens stand. What is the reality? If we look into the life of a common man, do we see any social, economic, or political justice for the people? Any liberty for his or her thought, expression, belief, faith, or worship? Any equality can be seen in the society? Any concern about the dignity of common Indian man? Then what the Constitution assures us. In 2021, when it surpasses.
Carry, ma'am.
Yes.
Carry on, ma'am.
Can I continue?
Yeah, please.
Okay. In 2021, when it surpasses 72 years after the enactment of our constitution, the biggest written constitution in the world, what can we say about the preamble? It's just a wish that the members of the Constituent Assembly dreamt India to become, or however, in reality we can see the people of India have not availed any political, economic, or social freedom as assured by the Constitution. Poor remains poor and rich become richer. So now we will explore some of the realities of our society. The people of India have not availed any political, economic, or social freedom. Everywhere we can see exploitation and curtailment of human rights, from farming till banking. We can see people are the cornerstones, and the corporates with the sanction of the rulers are exploiting the common man. Marketing outlets of the corporates at the village level is a stamp on the backbone of the rural economy. Divide the people on the grounds of religion, faith, status, territorial boundaries, etc., which resulted in the rights assured by the Constitution, has become only a dream for the majority. Promotion of digitalization on the one hand, and more than limited number of transactions will charge fine, again a way of looting of the poor and marginalized people, and also the disclosure of their privacy. Peaceful activists protesting against discriminatory citizenship policies or calling for the protection of long marginalized Dalit and Adivasi communities already face politically motivated charges. Now farmers, many of them sick, who have been peacefully protesting since November, are facing criticism for opposing controversial new farm laws. Authorities have made baseless claims against activists of incitement. Then the freedom of expression was guaranteed selectively, and the dissent was repressed through unlawful restrictions on peaceful protest and by silencing critics. Human rights defenders, including students, academicians, journalists, and artists, were arbitrarily arrested, often without charge or trial. Despite a Supreme Court order ruling to reduce prison overcrowding to curb the spread of COVID-19, the authorities continue to incarcerate many who were critical of the government. The authorities failed to adequately investigate or punish perpetrators of violence based on caste, sex, and gender, and carried out reprisals against those who reported rape and caste-based crimes. There was widespread impunity and lack of accountability for murders and attacks carried out by vigilant mobs and police officers against religious minorities. Swift and extreme restrictions were placed on freedom of movement in response to the pandemic, leaving thousands of migrant workers stranded without adequate food and protection. Some restrictions to curb the pandemic also threatened the right to privacy. Independent institutions, including investigators, prosecutors, and the courts, which should be impartially defending rights, are instead protecting government supporters and targeting its critics. Political leaders of the ruling party were quick to complain after the arrest of a pro-government news anchor. The courts also intervened and warned against criminal law being used for selective harassment of citizens. But the same authorities opposed bail for the journalist after he was arrested on his way to report on the gang rape of a Dalit woman in UP. There are instances where the courts refuse to protect from arrest the producers of a prime drama series on the ground that hurt Hindu religious sentiments. In December 2019, the government passed Citizenship Amendment Act, that is CAA, enabling irregular migrants from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan to obtain Indian citizenship, excluding Muslims. The discriminatory nature of CAA sparked peaceful protests across the country, which were met with arbitrary arrests and detention and widespread demonization of those protesting. The backbone of a nation is its power of the availability of food to feed its own people and the power of military to protect the people. Luckily, India is self-sufficient in both, but look into the life status of the people who protect us and feed us. As per the statistics of Government of India, over 12,000 suicides were reported in the agriculture sector every year since 2019. As told in the Parliament on September 2020, 10,281 Indian farmers died by suicide in 2009 alone. Soldiers are waiting to implement, dissolve the discrimination in status. The demand for one rank, one pension is yet to be considered since decades. In recent years, exploitation on the poor reached all-time high. Due to extraordinary expansion of corporate companies, farmers are being insisted to protest to protect their land. India is witnessing protests where corporate government yaw in one side and poor farmers and common man in other side. Change of policies which increases the burden of common people is not as per the liberty, justice, equality, or fraternity assured by the Constitution. No country can survive when 10% of the citizens handles all the wealth and power and the rest 90% is living in miserable condition. So let me conclude. In short, we can, India's democracy is active only for one day in 5 years, the day we vote. That day, every politician and bureaucrats will wait to hear us just for one day. The next day, politicians will become the king, the bureaucrats become the masters, and the rest become slaves. The era of rulers starts for next 5 years. They will use the right of the people for themselves and their relatives and supporters. In this auspicious occasion of the 75th years of independence of our motherland, I feel we should greet and cherish interdependence irrespective of sectoral allocation or marginalization for accomplishing the core vision of our constitution designers, our country into a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. Thank you.
In India, freedom has been the perennial issue from the conception of independence. Dear ma'am, indeed your words are the source of encouragement to face this challenge with a renewed perception. Thank you, ma'am, for your words of wisdom. For the next presentation, we have with us Dr. Jonas Richard A., the head of the Department of Social Work, Christu Jayanti College, Bengaluru. Dr. Jonas also published several research articles and authored many books. Indeed, it's our rare opportunity to listen you, sir. With much expectation, I welcome you for the next presentation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Stephen. Most respected Father Lenin Antony, respected Dr. Ide Verghese, our good friend, Dr. Jolly James. I just happened to, I'm just, meeting ma'am for the first time, and Dr. Sunil Kumar, and the other dignitaries, invited guests. Thank you at the outset for this opportunity to spend little time and share some of my perspectives on what we can do or what is freedom for you today in the current context. As you know, is my presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will just stop sharing. Okay. Right. All right. So I was just wondering, since other two speakers spoke about a lot about Constitution and our responsibility, so I thought, since I see a lot of, the Generation Z or the millennial kids, what freedom is for us and how we can have a responsible freedom. So my very short presentation would be only one message that I'm trying to give you, and how we can use the freedom responsibly. Now, if you are able to have access to your chat box, can you just open your chat box and put it? When I say the word freedom, what comes to your mind first? Please type. When I say the word freedom, what comes to your mind first? Freedom fighters. Discipline. Thank you, Kuriakos and Ritu. Purna Swaraj, Stephen. Indian flag, okay. Okay. Okay, being independent, self-autonomy. Okay. So I assume the others are also there. Okay, thank you. Being free, responsibility, right. So why I asked is this question today, dear friends. Freedom is today, in today's context, one of the most misunderstood words apart from love, right? Love is one of the most misunderstood words. All of us are aware of it, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch any South Indian movie, Tamil movie or Telugu movie. I don't know much in Malayalam movie whether this is depicted. How the hero says, the heroine says, I like you, or hero understands it for I love you, right? So love is misunderstood. Next to that, the word freedom is misunderstood. And that's one of the reasons we have lots and lots of confusions. Thank you, Kuriakos. As we are talking to you here on 16th August 7:45 or 7:30 p.m., a big chaos, confusion going on in one of our neighboring countries. Taliban have occupied the city. The Kabul airports are utter catastrophic. This afternoon there was a news, people are trying to flee the country. And somebody was, sitting in the chair, the wheel of the flight. Somehow, we have seen people sitting on the top of the bus, people trying to, somehow they want to escape. What they want is freedom, right? They want freedom. That's what they are saying. You ask the Taliban, why did you, capture the country and threw away the very, very, less bloodshed occupying of the president's office? And they are saying it's because we want to, give freedom to people. Both are saying they want freedom. When US declared war on Iraq, they said we want to give them freedom. Everybody gives the reason freedom, right? The child asks parents, Daddy, do you trust me? Do you give me freedom? Yes, then give me mobile phone. His understanding is mobile freedom. A school going or a college going child, Dada, Mama, do you love me? Do you give me freedom? Okay, allow me to go out with my friends. I'm sure all of you, when COVID, the second wave, today one of my colleagues, ma'am, was sharing about a news in Kerala, right? This boy going out, during lockdown saying that I want freedom. Don't I have a freedom in my own country? So what are we talking about as freedom? Many people, in spite of everything, misunderstand what is freedom. Parents are looking for a freedom from children. When this fellow will study and get settled so that I can be peaceful. Senior citizens are looking for freedom. When all these people will give me a freedom so that I can go peacefully. Every religion is promising freedom, right? Every Swamiji, Guruji, every priest, every pastor promises freedom, right? Come to me. If only you attend this Sunday, this service, I will free you from all bondage. Or you go to that Swamiji, you do that, perform that puja, all you will get a freedom. Everybody is talking about freedom, but without knowing, in my opinion, knowing what is the freedom. So therefore, as we celebrate the 75th Independence Day of our country, you may not be so much impressed by the, the struggles. That's why when Sir Ivergis sir, when he talked about, I don't know how many of you have seen the freedom fighters. So most of you may not even understand. Most of you may not even understand. Oh, freedom means August 15th means holiday. And this year that is also gone because it came on a Sunday. Okay, so you feel that that freedom is also gone. So I thought, as an individual, what we can do so that we can show that we are living in a free country, plus we can also exercise our freedom in a much more responsible way. Friends, freedom and responsibility are like a double-edged sword. It's like a tightrope walking. If you miss this way, you will go one way. If you miss this way. Think of a situation where you have been given a lot of freedom. When you do not make use of it in the right sense, what happens? You misuse it. Freedom is essential. To live a happy life, or to have a creativity, or to have a productive life, or to have an overall quality of life. But how do we exercise our freedom? Any freedom that is not exercised without responsibility, it is a total waste. Responsibility and freedom should go together and hand in hand. Otherwise, if you have only freedom, you will misuse it. If you have only responsibility, if you don't have a freedom, you won't be able to achieve the goals. the Constitution or the Article 19 talks about so many types of freedom. All of us are aware of it, right? But what we need to understand is to balance between freedom and, thank you, Aju Sevi, freedom and responsibility should go together. If you ask me one word in freedom, balance, balance, balance. Because we have seen people goofing up. Either they are too much freedom oriented or too much responsibility oriented. Both can be disastrous. We have seen cases. People who have excessively freedom, they have misused, right? Excessively freedom misused. Or people who have got only responsibility, no freedom, they also are not able to achieve their goals. So my message, as we celebrate this 75th Independence Day of our country, my message to all the participants, a lot of you are millennials, most of you are millennials, please use the freedom responsibly. Find out any freedom which does not covered with responsibility, it is not a freedom. Please understand. If you are only freedom oriented, I don't know, recently a case was brought to me as a counselor. This boy, a single child, whenever parents were saying class 12 boy, they are saying study, study. Whenever they were telling him to study, he said, no, why are you giving me torture, emotional abuse? He used all big, psychosocial words. Parents got scared. This fellow didn't study. Results came, just average mark. He's telling only 2 words. Sorry, daddy. Sorry, mommy. What will they do with their sorry? So whatever little savings they had to pay for a management quota and paid a huge money to get the seat. So I told him, see, you misused the freedom. I'm sure all of us who are sitting here, you know how much freedom that you are enjoying in your house. You know how much freedom that, your parents have given. Being trusted fully is a freedom. Please understand, dear children. Being trusted is a fully is a freedom. That's a freedom that you are enjoying. But the question that we need to ask is, am I making use of my freedom in a responsible way? Another idea, my personal freedom versus my social responsibility. If you are living in a city like Bangalore, you think of how, clean we keep the city. People think in India, anything outside our compound is not our country. Dump it. Garbage. How do we keep our places? Hygiene. We talk about emotional hygiene, health hygiene, but how do we keep our places? That's why, the freedom, Independence Day or Gandhi Jayanti celebrations are also associated with Swachh Bharat, right? So please think about it. How is my social behavior? Me as a citizen of this country, enjoying all the freedom, the benefits and fruits of the hard work of the freedom fighters, how do I use that freedom? What is my social responsibility? What is my social concern? How am I reacting? How am I responding to the situations, especially the injustice against the marginalized? I'm sure most of us are social work students. All of us are from social work background. What is my response to what is happening around me? And you have your own local realities. We are from different states, different places. You have your own local realities. Please find out. Think about it. Can I at least respond to one situation in one positive way? Yes, then we can say that you are using your freedom in a responsible way. Another idea, how is my freedom with social media? How am I making use of my freedom? Am I using it negatively to tarnish some image or to spread gossip through the WhatsApp university? Right? For many people, WhatsApp is the biggest university that gives them lots of message. Right? Some people say, no, it has come in the net itself. Net need not be like you and me. Somebody is writing and propagating all sorts of ideas. How am I using social media? Am I using it responsibly? Right? Do I use it positively or do I use it negatively or do I use it for superstitious behaviors? Right? You think about it. All of us know what is expected, what is not expected in our social media, because today the online image is become very important for everybody. How am I using it? Am I bullying it? Am I spoiling some country's name or some other individual's names? Right? And most of the people who are very silent have become very active these days, because online, because it gives them all sorts of anonymity so that they can misuse their freedom. I'm just inviting you with the due respect to all of you. Okay, so think about it. How am I doing it? Now, what are the opportunities that I have? I am misusing it. Right? Never burn the opportunities for a temporary comfort. Look at this picture. This fellow, instead of climbing up using this, he wants to be comforted there. We may not face a similar situation like this, right? Now, most of us are studying online. COVID-19 has brought you within your own, sit in your own house, right? How am I using my time? How am I using my comforts? Right? Is it useful for the society? Does it help somebody? Is it focused on the poor and the marginalized? Or I'm just enjoying it for my own self? Since most of your postgraduate students, I don't want to explain it, you know what I'm talking about it. Do I have an attitude of gratitude? This evening, I was telling my children about Afghan situation. Just you after this, you just Google it or YouTube. You just type YouTube, Kabul airport. You see people are fleeing the country. Pathetic. You are living in one of the safest countries in the world. You are living in the best time of the history. Right? I'm not referring to Corona, okay? You are living in the best time of the history. Okay. Every technological advancement, maximum visibility for a talent. Am I grateful? Am I making use of it? What is my, most often complaints? Right? Most of you have a complaints with your parents, your teachers, or the society without being grateful. It's including me also. I'm saying we forget. There was a one-liner which I read recently. I was complaining that I had no legs. Complaining that I had no shoes till I saw a man without legs. Look at this boy. Please remember, what you have taken for granted is a lifetime dream for somebody. I repeat, what you have taken for granted is a lifetime dream for somebody. You do not know. So therefore, please do not underestimate the freedom that we have. How am I behaving? Liberty is your internal, freedom is external. And when I am a student, how am I using my freedom? Is it, what are the institutional demands, the country's demand? They are saying that in another few days, the third wave is going to start. Most of the states are going to go for lockdown. Am I going to cooperate with the people, or I'm going to run around without cooperating with them? There was a video that I wanted to show you. So this is a small message that I wanted to give you, dear friends. We are living in one of the safest periods, one of the most country where you have a maximum amount of freedom. Forget about the small problems that we have. Still, we are far better. But as a youth, as a student, what is my response? Right? As we celebrate this 75th, may we all become free from the masks at the earliest. Not just Corona mask, even the mask that we wear, not showing our reality. Okay, may we remove our masks and be true to ourselves so that our life becomes more meaningful and we are able to contribute to this nation and the society around us. Famous story about dad. One day he was reading a newspaper. This child kept on disturbing. Dad simply gave a one page in the newspaper. He said, he tore the sheet and gave, come on, this is the world map. You put it together. Let me bring it. He thought the child will never come back. 2 minutes, the boy came back saying, Dada, I fixed it. What did you do? I looked at the other side. There was a man. I fixed the man. I don't know which country is where, but I know where the nose should be, where the mouth should be, where the hands should be, legs should be. When I got the man right, the world became right. So, dear friends.
Excellent, sir.
I would like to end with this message. Yes, Father, finishing it.
Super. Very good. Very nice.
I would like to end with this message. When we make ourselves, the world will be all right. Wishing you once again a happy Independence Day. Placing on record my greatest appreciation and gratitude to Father Lenin and the entire team. Some of our students are there, and all the other dignitaries, Ma'am Jolly or Sunil Kumar sir or Ait Verghese sir, and all of you. Very, very nice to be connecting with you, and wishing you all the best to all the students. I'm sure it's part of their community program, and once again appreciating Father Lenin, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the inseparable relationship between the freedom and the responsibility. You have made it clear that freedom without responsibility is not freedom in its full sense. Your words, indeed, great source of inspiration and encourage us to face the reality. Once again, thank you, sir, for presenting your ideas in short time. Once again, I thank and appreciate the three distinguished scholars for presenting the topics with clarity and within the short time frame. With this, the presentation session is over. Now, I invite Christina PV from Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit Region Campus, Thuravu, to moderate the question answer session. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you, Ardra. Now the time to ask your questions and clarify your doubts. And you can add your own reflections, or if you have something else more, kindly free to add or share. Now the floor is open for the discussion, and anyone can start. Could you please start your own questions?
Good evening, sir. My name is Kuriakos Jacob. I'm a social MSW student from St. Joseph's College. So, sir, it was a very indeed information that I got from three eminent speakers. So I just have one question about freedom. I just want to get a perspective about what truly freedom means.
Whom do you ask? I mean, Kuriakos?
From three different speakers.
Yeah,
if possible.
You can specify one person, like suppose Jonas sir or Sunil sir or Jolie ma'am. You can say one person so that it will be easy.
Yeah, I would go Dr. Jonas sir, because you talked about the freedom aspect more. So could you please highlight on it?
Sir, unmute sir.
Kuriakos, what is the question?
So what is the true meaning of freedom?
What is freedom according to you? You tell us. Then I will come to mine.
So, sir, for me, freedom is discipline. So if I have discipline in my life,
for
I have freedom.
Freedom is
if I have discipline with my finance, I have financial more stability in my life.
Very good. Very good.
Like
Okay.
that.
Very good. So the most common, thank you, Kuriakos, very nice question. Because as I said, this is one of the most misunderstood also. For me, again, I'm sharing my view. For me, freedom is freedom. Dom means DOM, dominant. Free from dominance. When I don't dominate others, when I don't allow others to dominate me, I am free. Got it? When I do not allow social media to take over me, I am free. When I do not exploit my neighbor, he is free. When he does not allow me to exploit him, he is free. So we are all born free. When we are also we should also die free. That's the logic. But during these days, I mean, during the life, we become copycats, get attached to one or other things, right? So the people lose their freedom. So when I allow anybody to dominate me, or when I dominate others, I lose my freedom. That is not good. So please remember, freedom. This is given by one of the scholars today. An eminent person was sharing this to me. Free from dominance.
Excellent.
When you are free from dominance, you have a freedom.
Wow, thank you, sir. That was a new perspective that I got. I didn't realize the word meaning before. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Kuriakos.
Good
Yes,
evening, sir.
yeah, carry on.
My name is Adulya. I'm from Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Regional Center Payyanur. So my question is, now the current situation, the Afghan peoples are facing so many human violations. Could you please explain your perspectives on that?
This question is to whom, Father?
Yeah, Adilya.
Anyone.
You know, Sunil sir or Jolly
Sunil
ma'am.
sir, can you please answer?
Okay.
If you don't mind, will you please repeat the question?
Now, the Afghan peoples are facing so many human rights violations. What is your opinion on that? Could you please?
Okay, as we all know what is happening in Afghan right now, is it? That is truly human violation because Taliban in one side and they are conquering the different parts. So it's at most against the freedom and independence, I think. And while we are observing the situations, it's already well said by our faculty, Dr. Janas sir, that is the people are in panic and they are fleeing basically. And they are always focusing on to safeguard their own life or their relatives and the country people. So government cannot maintain the so-called our preamble that we said, that is the sovereignty or the equality or the freedom, or nothing can be controlled or nothing can be safeguarded by the government right now, because the situation is worsening hours and hours or days by day. So almost all the rights of the individuals that is curtailed or denied. The people is just now the people is fleeing out and they are focusing on to safeguard their own life. I think almost all the violations is happening right now. Maybe you're happy with this answer. So like you and like all others, I think this is the situation right now we are facing or we could observe. And one thing it's very important, only yesterday, the UN is entered into the field of Afghan only yesterday onwards. And they are suggested for certain diplomatic points to safeguard the country. Clear, almost all the embassies there evacuated their officials from Afghanistan. That is the situation right now. So every government, they are safeguarding their own citizens, but no one is there to help the original natives to support. Thank you. Maybe any one of the faculties or resource persons can supplement more, I think.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just to add to, very good, sir, well said. It is too early to conclude what is happening there, but as sir beautifully said, everybody is worried about their own citizens and then people from their own embassies. But what is happening is the real Afghans are not so much worried, and right now they are saying things are all right, but then what we call it, every antidepressant becomes a depressant at later. Right now, they are saying that we are giving you freedom from the governments, but tomorrow they themselves may become, people who create bondage. So very, very pathetic situation, and a lot of human rights violation. I don't know where to start, where to end. Think of the people there. That's where I was just telling that we should be really grateful. I don't think India would ever face that situation. So the president has, quietly moved to Pakistan, and people are really don't know. They are finding it difficult. Let's pray for them. That's all.
Shall I add my
Yes,
viewpoint?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So when we think of human rights violation, think of the people in Afghan right now. Actually, they have no right to live, or they have no right, no liberty at all, because Taliban is conquering and the militants or Taliban is curtailing all their rights by firing or some kind of robbery will be there, some kind of exploitation will be there, even sexual exploitation will be taken, will be there, especially the female of the community will face. Because even in our country also, because some of the activists in Kashmir or some army, means some villages are exploited by the people, means by the forces, and people. This kind of exploitation will be there in every part where this kind of riots or conquering will be taken place. So they don't have the right to life or liberty, or they feel some kind of slavery. They don't have the right to go for work. They don't have the right or freedom of expression of their opinion or any kind of expression. If they want to talk against that right, they don't have the right, and they have no right to go for education or access to education or basic amenities, because all the infrastructure will be destroyed or controlled by the militants or this kind of Taliban groups. So in that way, in all aspects of human rights will be violated, and the living condition of the people, especially the women, the children, or the so-called marginalized people, will be more pathetic. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil sir, Jonas sir, and Jolie ma'am.
Any other question? We have 4 minutes more.
Father, if there are no questions, I thought I will have a question to all the students, because I find more students here. Okay, so friends, you have been listening to all of us, different ideas, different perspectives, and as we come to an end, please tell what is that one takeaway that you have from this session. This is a very usual question, but I thought I would ask, but still it is relevant. Either you can put it in the chat box. Okay, one idea that you are going back with today. It can be anything, any idea that struck you, or I don't know, anything, one idea that you are going back with. If you have a question, you ask, otherwise you please put it in the chat box. Freedom is free from dominance, okay. Okay. It can be truly enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Christina, shall we wind up? It's a time.
Yes.
If no question is there, we can wind up. And of course, all three speakers, Dr. Jolie, Dr. Jonas, and Dr. Sunil, really great presentations. Excellent presentations. All three of you, hats of you. Thank you very much. And I think a formal order of thanks will be, they will give. Okay, Christina?
Yes, Father.
Yeah.
Over to Shamna.
Thank you, Christina. Good evening, all. I take immense joy to be part of this national webinar on freedom and human rights, a constitutional perception and reality. Without much delay, I directly enter into my task of Thanksgiving. I am agreeing with you all that this webinar's thrust is the most timely perceived and precisely directed intervention to touch the core issues of our country today, that is increasing events of human rights violation and incidents of deprivation of human freedom. First, To begin with, I thank Dr. Ike Verghese, Secretary of CATS, for delivering the presidential address. Dear sir, your presence and your words gave us a renewed spirit. We assure you that we too will become someone in the process of social change. Once again, I thank you, sir. It would have been more colorful and interesting if our esteemed guest, Advocate Shamsuddin MLA of Manarkad constituency, would have inaugurated. Unfortunately, he could not rejoin the webinar. I thank him in his absence to our invitation to be with us. In his absence, I thank him too. We are indeed privileged to have three eminent scholars to enlighten us, to educate us, to inspire us, and to challenge us. I take these opportunities to thank our three resource persons, namely Dr. Sunil Kumar Raman, an international trainer and assistant professor of Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit Kaladi, regional campus pioneer. And next, Dr. Jonas Richard A., the head of Department of Social Work, Christu Jayanti College, Bangalore. And lastly, Dr. Jolie K. James, the assistant professor of St. Bergman's College, Changanasheri. Dear speakers, I express my sincere appreciation. Hello?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can listen to you.
Dear
Continue.
speakers, I express my sincere appreciation and gratitude for sharing with us your valuable time and knowledge. Indeed, your words empower us to build a nation with our forefathers dreamt. Once again, thank you all. Next, I thank Father Lenin Anthony S.J., the director of ADI and the mastermind behind the whole programs of today. Without his presence, the seminar won't be reality. Dear Father, thank you for delivering the welcome note. Next, I thank Father Rafin Kamal S.J., the Assistant Director of ADI, and Mr. Vipin Lal, the Coordinator of ADI. Then I thank Christina P.V., MSW student from Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Kaladi, Regional Campus, Thuravur, for giving us a brief introduction about ADI. Thank you, Christina, for making ADI known to us. Then I thank Asha CS, MSW student from Christu Jayanti College, Bangalore, for leading to the divine presence through the prayer song. Thank you, Asha. Next, I thank Ananta Lakshmi S. Thotam, MSW student from St. Bergman's College, Changanasheri, for reading out to us the preamble of the Constitution of India. Thank you, Ananta Lakshmi.
Continue.
Thank you, Ananta Lakshmi. I thank Christina P. once again for moderating the question answer session effectively. Thank you, Christina. I thank today's MCs, Stephen Thomas Sunday, MSW student from St. Bergman's College, Changanasheri, and Adra CS, MSW student from Christu Jayanti College, Bangalore. Dear friends, thank you. I thank you for effectively moderating and guiding the webinar with mindfulness to move smoothly. Next, I thank Atulya Chandran, MSW student from Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit Kaladi, Regional Campus Pioneer, and Aju P. Xavier, MSW student from St. Bergman's College, Changanasheri, for handling PowerPoint presentation. Next, I thank Arya K. Madhu and Alina Samboj, MSW students from Christu Jayanti College, Bangalore, for handling the YouTube broadcast. Thank you, dear friends. Next, I thank all the participants who took part in the webinar via Zoom meeting and YouTube channel Adi Srishti. Thank you all the participants for your active participation and patient listening. Once again, thank you all. Wish you good night. Is there anything to add further?
Thank you. So you have proposed beautifully the vote of thanks, and thank you for proposing vote of thanks. And it is the longest vote of thanks ever we had, and you have done very well. Thank you, dear friends. In chat box we have what is our feedback link is there. You can fill it and you may get the e-certificate. I think we will